We live in a world of high technology, smartphones, and supercomputers. We often think that people in the past were simple or less intelligent than us. But if we look back 2,000 years to ancient Rome, we find something shocking. The Romans were masters of engineering, architecture, and urban life. In fact, there are some things the Romans did much better than we do today. From buildings that never break to cities that stay warm in the winter, their genius is still visible in the ruins they left behind. Today on 5-Point Historian, we are exploring 5 things ancient Rome did better than us. Before we look at these ancient secrets, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us travel back in time to discover the wonders of history. Now let's look at the strongest material in the world. 1. Immortal concrete, the secret of the Pantheon. If you look at a modern concrete bridge or building today, you might see cracks after only 50 years. Modern concrete is strong, but it doesn't last forever. However, if you go to Rome and visit the Pantheon, you will see a massive concrete dome that is nearly 2,000 years old. It has no cracks, and it is still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. How is this possible? The volcanic secret. For a long time, scientists were confused. They wondered why Roman concrete survived in the salty ocean and through earthquakes while our concrete falls apart. Recently, they found the answer: volcanic ash. The Romans mixed their lime with volcanic ash and seawater. When a small crack started to form, a chemical reaction happened. The water moved through the crack, mixed with the volcanic minerals, and created new crystals. These crystals grew and healed the crack. Essentially, Roman concrete was alive. It could repair itself. The real story: the harbor of Caesarea. Think about the harbor in Caesarea, built by the Romans in the ocean. Usually, salt water destroys concrete very fast. But 2,000 years later, the Roman blocks under the water are stronger than the day they were built. We are only now starting to learn how to make self-healing concrete like the Romans. They didn't have computers, but they understood the chemistry of the earth better than we did for centuries. 2. The perfect road system. All roads lead to Rome. Have you ever been stuck in a car because the road was full of potholes? Roads are a constant problem for modern cities, but the Romans built a road network that covered over 400,000 kilometers across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Many of these roads are still used today as the foundations for our modern highways. Engineering for eternity, a Roman road was not just a flat path of stones. It was a complex sandwich of layers. First, they dug a deep trench. Then they added sand, then heavy stones, then gravel, and finally smooth paving stones on top. The most important part was the shape. Roman roads were slightly higher in the middle. This meant that when it rained, the water ran off to the sides into drainage ditches. This kept the road dry and prevented the stones from moving. The real story: the Via Appia. The Via Appia, the Appian Way, was started in 312 BC. It connected Rome to southern Italy. History tells us that Roman soldiers could march at incredible speeds on these roads because they were so smooth and straight. Even today, you can walk on the original stones of the Via Appia. While our modern asphalt roads need repairs every few years, the Roman roads survived the weight of armies, horses, and centuries of weather. They didn't just build for their time, they built for forever. 3. Hypocaust, ancient underfloor heating. In many modern homes, we use radiators or air conditioners to stay warm, but often the floor stays cold and the heat doesn't stay in the room. The Romans solved this problem 2,000 years ago with a system called the Hippocaust. How it worked. Instead of putting a fire in the middle of a room, the Romans built their houses on top of stone pillars. This created a hollow space under the floor. Outside the house, a furnace, a big fire, was kept burning. The hot air and smoke from the fire were pulled into the space under the floor. The heat would warm the stones of the floor, and then the hot air would move up through hollow bricks in the walls. This turned the entire room into a giant radiator. It was silent, invisible, and very efficient. The real story, the Roman baths. If you go to the city of Bath in England or visit ruins in Italy, you can see these systems in the public baths. Romans loved to be warm and clean. They spent hours in these heated rooms talking about politics and news. They even had steam rooms created by pouring water on the hot floors. While people in the Middle Ages were freezing in their huts, the Romans were relaxing in 40-degree heat, enjoying a life of comfort that many people today would envy. 4. Aqueducts. The magic of running water. Clean water is the most important thing for a city. Today we use giant electric pumps to move water, but the Romans lived in a world without electricity. How did they bring millions of liters of fresh water into a city like Rome every day? Gravity is the engine. The Romans were masters of gravity. They built aqueducts, huge stone bridges that carried water from mountain springs into the city. Some of these springs were 90 kilometers away. The secret was the slope. The aqueduct had to drop very slowly, sometimes only a few centimeters every kilometer. If the drop was too steep, the water would move too fast and break the pipes. If it was too flat, the water would stop. The real story, the Pont de Gard. In France, you can see the Pont de Gard, a massive 3-story aqueduct bridge. It is a work of art, but it is also a machine. It carried water to the city of Nîmes. The Romans were so good at sanitation that the average person in the city of Rome actually had more fresh water available to them than a person in many modern cities today. They had public fountains, public toilets, and even a giant sewer system called the Cloaca Maxima to take the waste away. They understood that a clean city is a healthy city. It is incredible to think that they moved water across mountains using only gravity, isn't it? If you are impressed by Roman engineering, please like this video and subscribe to 5 Point Historian. We have one more surprising fact about Roman daily life. 5. Fast food and social life. The ancient restaurant. When you think of fast food, you probably think of McDonald's or a busy street in New York. But the concept of grabbing a quick, hot meal on the street actually started in Rome. The Thermopolium. Most poor Romans lived in small apartments called insulae. These buildings were made of wood and were very dangerous, so people were not allowed to cook inside because of the risk of fire. This meant that millions of people needed a place to eat. The solution was the Thermopolium. This was a small shop with a stone counter. Inside the counter were large jars called dolia that kept food warm. You could walk up to the counter, pay a few coins, and get a bowl of hot lentil soup, spiced meat, or bread with cheese. The real story, the fast food of Pompeii. Archaeologists in Pompeii recently discovered a perfectly preserved Thermopolium. It even has beautiful paintings of chickens and ducks on the front to show what was on the menu. It looks exactly like a modern snack bar. Romans were very social. They didn't like to stay home. They liked to be in the streets, eating, drinking wine, and talking to their neighbors. They created the urban lifestyle we know today. They proved that even 2,000 years ago, people were busy, hungry, and loved a quick meal. Ancient Rome was not just a place of gladiators and emperors. It was a civilization of geniuses who solved the problems of daily life with incredible creativity. They built roads that lasted for millennia, concrete that healed itself, and heating systems that kept their feet warm in the winter. They brought water across mountains and created the first fast food culture. When we look at their ruins, we shouldn't just see old stones. We should see a message from the past. They remind us that with observation, mathematics, and a lot of hard work, humans can build things that even time cannot destroy. We have better tools today, but sometimes we are still trying to catch up to the wisdom of Rome. Thank you for watching this journey through ancient Rome. Which of these inventions surprised you the most? For me, the self-healing concrete is like magic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this look at the ancient world, please like this video and subscribe to 5 Point Historian. We have many more stories about the secrets of the past coming very soon. Stay curious, stay historical, and I will see you in the next video.